Hey, welcome back to another edition of Limited Skills. I'm James.
And I'm Brandon.
I almost said I'm Brandon, but I didn't, so we saved it.
Everything's confusing.
We're drafting Ixalan again.
Real quick,
Yeah.
before we get to our draft process, I want to talk about we skipped last week's video because it was sealed, and we don't really know what to present for sealed. If we just show us building our deck, if that's interesting, or what other aspects of sealed you might be interested in. So let us know so we stop skipping every sealed event. It was a bummer we skipped this one because it was the common room was hosting a breast cancer awareness, and almost half our players were wearing pink. It was a big thing. The profits for the night got donated to the National Booby Foundation. I don't know what it's called.
I think that's the official thing. Yeah.
Okay.
That was the one that we left early because we
we did bad.
That would have been a bad one to talk about. Maybe talk about all the things you shouldn't do. What makes a weak sealed pool? Anyway, what makes a first pick, Brandon?
Well, if it's got gold in the rarity, that's usually the reason. I don't remember what... Oh, Drowned Catacomb. Okay. So I decided I don't like first picking multicolored things, but that thing's really good. So
Drowned Catacomb?
The Shaper Merfolk.
Okay.
thing.
That thing was really good. I also drafted one. I drafted the exact same deck Brandon did. I was sitting 2 seats down, but I drafted a slightly slower, not as good version of it.
I'd like to think James learned his lesson, but
No.
probably not.
No, probably not.
So I don't know, taking that pick, I felt like I was committing to Merfolk right away, which I don't want to do, but then I immediately just started following my picks with that in mind.
Sure. It's not too early to decide to force something. You just have to worry that your opponents are also making the same decision, like your friend who sits 2 seats down from you.
Friend.
This was a 10-man pod, so the draft will look a little weird because we'll be seeing more commons and uncommons. So card quality is a little higher on average, which was just blowing somebody's mind. The across from me, 2 seats down, was just like, could not understand why he was getting so many good cards.
I don't even notice when people say stuff like that because it feels like it's every draft. Regardless of whether it's 6 or 10, I just feel like somebody is always so flabbergasted some pick made it so far. And like, whatever, it happens. There's 14 cards in the first pack. Like,
But you take a Deep Root Warrior.
yeah, I was going into a bunch of dirtily common. They're not dirtily. I was going for tempo. So my previous time playing Merfolk, I sort of learned that, they don't really necessarily have a whole lot of bomby closers in that strategy. But if you just tempo, you've got enough evasion and aggression and sort of combat tricks.
Yeah, that was where my deck struggled, is that my best finisher was a control magic.
Which is really good, actually.
Yeah, but if you're already mostly dead.
Then you're dead.
Yeah. Deep water, deep, whatever that. No, not that black card. The blue one that you passed is really good.
Which one was it? I didn't...
Deep water trap weaver.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just took that black guy because I didn't have one. Also, I could go into black.
That's true. I took the water trap weaver.
Yeah. Well, there's another one. As I showed to the camera, that's the one I should take.
I ended up with 2 of them, but I think I got them all in pack 2. Yeah, and that card's sweet. It's 3 for a 2/2 that frost breaths a creature. Yeah,
And it's a Merfolk, which is very relevant.
Mm-hmm. That's probably as close as blue gets to premium removal in this set.
If I were playing vampires, I would go for that Anointed Deacon probably.
Yeah, he's sweet.
Or if I were hiring black in general, I like that bat a lot as well. It can help you trigger your raid, as well as give you a finisher late game.
So, why not the giant ship? The giant ship was pretty good, I thought.
Is it the 4/6 Vigilant?
Yeah, for 3. Cruise for 3.
The 4/3 Cruise for 3. I wish I just
Oh.
remember the names of things. I'm just not as impressed with vehicles in this set. I think they're fine, but compared to our first experience with them in Kaladesh, where every vehicle was the right pick, pretty much, as long as you weren't just playing too many.
Sure. Somebody was complaining that, oh man, the vehicles in this set just seem way weaker than the vehicles in Kaladesh. And it's really shocking to me that the vehicles in the set that introduces vehicles and was themed around artifacts are stronger than the set about pirates. Like, I don't understand why that just doesn't... I don't get it, guys. I just don't get it. Why isn't the pirate ship better than the race car?
I also feel like anytime they introduce a new mechanic that they plan on doing long term, they almost always just make them too powerful the first time.
Yeah.
That was true with equipment as well.
Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
So what are your choices here as the camera goes in and out? Sailor of Means?
Yeah, this didn't really fit with the whole lot. It's not really tempo aggressive. It was basically just the blue thing left that was playable. I think I ended up taking a few of those and not playing any of them.
I think I did the same thing.
And I think they're playable, just not for the Merfolk.
They're a little more
deck.
defensive.
Yeah. I think they're fine with the pirate deck, which I believe they're pirates also.
Yeah, they are.
It helps you get your mana fixing because sometimes you're playing 3 colors with pirates, as well as you can attack into their 3/3, and they're not going to trade with it, so that you can trigger your raid stuff.
Oh,
and that's
true.
really cool.
I never thought of that.
I do think this guy's really good. Just 5 for a 3/4. It gives you a couple treasures. He is playable in the Merfolk just for efficiency, but I ended up not playing him as well.
Yeah, because it gives you 2 treasures, right? So you
Yeah.
can play him and then you can play a 2-drop, which is pretty cool. That's a lot of power all at once. Jungle Delver. There was a game I got Jungle Delver up to a 6/6, which if you think about how much mana that costs, it's pretty ridiculous.
Did you win?
No, I didn't. He got up to a 6/6 because I drew 5 lands in a row. You got some flyers in there. You got some aggressive early creatures.
I was feeling very excited. Like I said, I drafted this before, and I felt like I learned from that, and just drafted a strictly better version than the last time. And the last time I went 2-1.
How'd you go this time?
2-1. I think the deck was great. There wasn't a whole lot I could have asked for. I felt like I had the right amount of bounce for removal and aggressive creature. Oh, Oz wanted me to talk about him rudely reaching across the camera, and here I am talking about how much I hate Oz.
So you take the rare dinosaur or...
Oh yeah, it should have been Shapers of Nature. It's the right pick. Also, actually, sorry, I think that's tough, but I think that
that Mystic is very good.
yeah, that 1/3 that puts counters on 2 Merfolk
Yeah.
would have been best for my deck. Could have made a difference.
It was real good in my deck.
Oh, that's nice to know. I even passed this to the right.
Yep.
But I just took Regisaur Alpha because it's a cool thing. And, maybe I'll splash red for some other bomby thing I get.
It is a cool thing. And the one time I got to cast it, my opponent had, at the turn before, cast a creature that taps everything that I put into play. It was miserable. I hate this set so much.
That's something else we talked about a lot at this draft was people's feelings about the set. It seemed like there was a real strong divide between not liking it and liking it, leaning a little more towards not liking it.
Sure. I think a lot of folks don't like it because it's tribal, and seems like the common wisdom is that tribal decks are easy to build. You just find all the cards that say tribe, and you put them in your deck.
I think people feel cornered in their strategy options.
Sure. I don't necessarily think that's true, but I can understand it.
Well, it's definitely harder to draft a Bant deck.
Yeah.
Because it's not a tribe color.
Yeah.
So, you're really rarely going to see that compared to the 4 color combinations they've set for us. But I like tribal a lot. I think it's just fun and cool. So while as I understand what people are saying and agree, I'm enjoying the set a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like it in theory. I don't like that I'm terrible at Magic. I think that's the problem with this set. This set is not friendly to people who are terrible at Magic. Oh, do you take the foil card or the flyer? I guess they both fly.
Yeah. So at this point, I've picked up a lot of flyers. Not all of them are Merfolk. I've got a few of those 2/1 guys for 2.
Oh, yeah.
That fly if you have Merfolk, and then I've got that. And so I'm mostly Merfolk, but I've just got a lot of evasion in general that curves out well.
I ended up with I think he's a 1/2 with flying and raid. He gets a +1/+1 counter.
It's very good. I like it.
Yeah, he's sweet. This card, also very good.
Yeah, I'd never even seen this card before the draft. Nobody had played it against me. I don't remember looking at it before. Turns out, phenomenal.
Yeah, I was real excited for it.
You only need 1 Merfolk for it to get its full effect.
And I played it on an opponent, and he said, oh, you need to target 2 Merfolk. I was like, no, you don't. So this Elemental is getting a +1/+1 counter.
I like the Explore Flyer also.
Yeah. I hate that cannon.
I still want to force that cannon into a deck just to try it sometime, but it does seem blatantly bad.
I think I think I would play the 1 mana 3/3 that ramps them before I would play that weird
Probably
cannon.
would too. The cannon can't even kill that at least.
Maybe if you were in like a sacrifice artifacts deck, which this set doesn't do, that card might be alright. So if this was like old Mirrodin, that card might do something. I like this a lot. Return a creature to its owner's hand, get a treasure.
It's weird because it's unsummon, but for 2 more, you get a mana back. It's strange. It's fine. The treasure's useful for ramp on future turns.
There are enough cards in this set with enter the battlefield triggers that I think it's probably justified. Because I've wound up targeting my own stuff as much as I targeted my opponent's stuff, just because I wanted to get the explore counter on my Elder Elemental or whatever he's called, or whatever thing I was doing.
So, something I would like to note from playing blue multiple times and playing against blue a few times, there's a lot of really good common level bounce. So there's that 3 mana unsummon,
Yep.
which is fine. It's not as good as unsummon, I think. There's also the 4 mana bounce something to the top of their deck, which will just make somebody lose the game if they're not winning already.
Oh, for sure.
And as well as there's the uncommon, and I picked one that you scry to if you bounce something that's converted mana cost 2 or less. And it's phenomenal. It's so easy to just have a tempo of bounce with added effects on all of those. The 2 mana one lets you fix your deck. If you bounce a small thing, the 3 mana one gives you mana efficiency, and then the 4 mana one burns a draw of your opponent.
There's a creature, I think it's a blue Merfolk. I mean, I know it's blue. I think it's a Merfolk that also bounces one of your creatures when it comes into play, and it's unblockable. And that can be a great way to get value. Get your another raid trigger, or trigger explore again, and just do whatever you got to do. Get another 3/3 trample with your 5/5 dinosaur. That would have been cool. It's a 4/4 dinosaur.
Is it?
Yeah.
That was a 5/5.
Maybe. I know it makes it 3/3.
Yeah, that's right. 4/4 is probably right.
I think it's a 4/4.
Okay, if I were playing black, I would have taken the rare here just because it's, I think, actually pretty good.
I missed it. I was too busy gazing into your eyes.
That's reasonable and understandable. But I didn't see what I actually picked instead.
Oh.
We were too busy having a gaze contest. That sounded different than...
Yeah, it did. I've generally been happy with opt, but I don't think I want more than 2. Ever. And even that I think is probably too many.
So I think you want to play opt if you have a particularly good bomby card, and it can help you dig for it.
Sure.
If your deck relies on playing 1 of 2 cards to be able to close it out, or if it's got a board wipe, it helps you dig for that board wipe. The decks that I've drafted so far, I just let them come to me late. I don't pick them early at all.
No, that makes sense, because you're trying to be real aggressive. Why would you want to play a 2/2? Why would you want to pay 1 to scry and draw a card when you could play an aggressive threat? Why don't you hold the cards on screen?
I am rude.
Hey, look, there's another bounce thing.
Yeah, I love that. I think I ended up with 2 of all 3 of them.
You can bounce creatures with converted mana cost greater than 2. It's just that you get to scry if you bounce a little thing.
It is important to note, as a lot of people have gotten confused, that you can't bounce your own stuff with that. So that one's not a creature saver as well.
Okay. I would have probably screwed that up.
Oh, man, here's my chance to play that 3/3.
Yeah. I also looked at it and thought, is this my chance to play that 3/3?
I don't think there is a proper chance.
We were
if it were a Merfolk, I would be more excited to try it too.
Yeah, that would make sense. We were even talking about it in other formats than draft outside of this, and we decided that it's bad in everything. It's bad in standard, I guess, because removal is too efficient, and it's bad in modern because there are just better things you could do for 1 mana. You could play Tarmogoyf, Death Shadow, Monastery Swiftspear. There's so many good 1-drops that giving them a land for a 3/3 that's just going to get bolted seems bad. Everyone's getting in your screen today.
I know. Everybody's like, man, if my hands get in here, we'll be famous.
Right?
It's not true, guys. You can stop putting your hands.
Well, Oz is probably famous.
If we need a hand model, I guess we can review some old footage and figure that out.
That's true.
I was real excited to get this because I hadn't played it, and it seems amazing, obviously.
Oh, yeah, one pumps
Just 1 for a
Merfolk.
2/2.
Yeah.
Very consistently.
I really want to play the white-black vampire deck. I think that deck looks like tons of fun with all the cool tokens and token synergies.
So I ended up with 4 other Shaper Apprentices, which gave me a lot of consistency that people could not deal with.
Yeah, that seems pretty hard. Oh, that seems awful. What do you think about the Shorekeeper? Keeping your shores.
I played against it once, and an opponent got to draw 3 cards, and that made me a little sad, but mostly I wouldn't mess with it. I did realize it doesn't have Defender, so that same opponent also used it to trigger Raid.
I don't think there are any Defender cards in this set. There are a bunch of walls, but no Defenders.
It's interesting, because if you play it on turn 1, you're going to real consistently have Raid on turn 2 without having to lose. Like, the only thing I can think of they could play is that Old Growth Dryad to be able to block it.
Isn't there a 2-mana 4/2?
Oh, it's a 4/3.
No, it's a 4/2.
Is it?
Yeah.
The one that
When
gives
it
your
dies,
opponent treasure
you
when
get
it
treasure.
dies?
It's
I
a
thought it was a
4/2.
4/3, but...
No. Because it's real squishy.
Either way about it, if you're on the play,
Uh-huh.
they're not going to have any answers to that. So anyway, Shorekeepers for days if you got Raid. I should have made that rhyme. I'll think about it.
I don't know how you rhyme Shorekeeper and Raid. Shorekeeper gets played when you got Raid? There you go.
I felt my eyes bug out of my head when you said that with delight.
Did you play Cancel?
No, I had a few counterspell options, and I think I just... Yeah, I think this is the one I would have played. It was the one that was on the...
Cost 1 less if you
the
control a
cutting
pirate.
It's basically mana leak when you have a pirate. I mean, I think even without the pirate clause, it's fine. 3 mana to make him spend 4 more. You're going to counter things.
Yeah. There's another bounce. So your top end is basically bounce, isn't it?
Yeah, I had the Air Elemental and potentially that 3/4 pirate. I kept my curve at 2 and 3. And I felt really good about that. That's sort of what I did with my Merfolk before. I had a few tricks at 4 and 5.
Did that Regisaur Alpha pay out for you? Did you play that?
I did not. I didn't. So I think I got a little streamlined when I first picked the 2-color Merfolk, and I think I just started taking Merfolk so quick. I didn't even consider going outside, really. Like, nothing stuck out to me in any of those packs that was like, oh, look at me. Mm-hmm. But there might have been stuff there.
Yeah, I saw some good red and black removal that was going around. Other people made decks, so I guess there were other good things. But you beat 2/3 of them, so...
Yeah, and then play against Thomas Vanko in the finals. He was playing Naya Dinosaurs. And
God, his deck was so good. He beat me in round 1.
Me.
It's like I wasn't even playing Magic. I was playing Sparkle Kitty, and he was playing Magic.
You lose a point of life every time you swear.
I would lose so fast. So, All-Stars, final thoughts, conclusions?
Every 2-drop I played was awesome. I had multiple... I think I had 5 2-drop flyers. Actually, it was the flyers. The flyers are what did it.
Okay.
I even had a few of those water trap... That's it, right? Not water tap, water trap thingers.
Uh-huh.
I had so many flyers, it usually didn't matter. I was tapping down one of their ground creatures. So, and then I would just bounce their occasional flyer and just be whittling them for 2 or 4 damage a turn.
Neat.
It was boring in trying to describe it, but it was fun to play.
All right, well, there you go. Play blue-green Merfolk. Don't cast spells that cost more than 3, and you win. Unless you play Thomas Vanko, then you lose.
Yeah, dinosaurs eat Merfolk.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week.